What's up, Chris and Greg? You should come on. Inviting everybody to come on. Tell us what this year's been like. Good, bad, ugly, anything in between. Doesn't matter to me. We're here. We made it. Too late to complain now, huh? Share this out if you guys can. I think you can share the YouTube. You can share it from my page. Maybe we'll get lucky and even Drew Hicks will share it. Give it a few more minutes. No sense in starting to talk this early. Good. Ugh. I hear you. Poor people. Anybody, whoever's on here, let me know. Comment so I know who's on here. Share it out if you can. This is my 2025 wrap up. It will not be 3 hours. Oh, Deb. All right, good enough. What up? It's Trav. Share this out if you can from my page, YouTube. Can't share it from GBR. There's my brother Tim. Love to have him come on and share anything you want. I seen your video you made a little while ago, kind of doing the same. We all made it. So, any complaints at this point, null and void. We had all year to do that, right? We all made it. That's equal gratitude that everybody should be expressing. Look, years were tough. This year was tough for many people. I definitely know. Weather related, a lot of places got floods and bad storms, man. Macon County, Mount Zion, just a few days ago, got hit with a tornado. They're still cleaning up and reeling from that. What a way to start the new year, right? So first and foremost, prayers for anybody that, regardless if they see this video or not, whatever, just prayers, Lord, for healing, restoration, reconstruction in anybody's life this year that was affected by weather, illness, or death in the family. Anybody that still has some loved ones, some family members still struggling with the affliction we call addiction, and just keep surrounding them and guiding them. Lord, ultimately, prayers are that they come home to you. We're all prodigals. We're all prodigals out here, Lord. And you're the way home. You're the way, the truth, the life, and home at the end of it. Yeah. Condolences, brother. Condolences. She got to see you for the man you are today, the man I've gotten to know and have grown with learn from, and a better person to know. So sorry for that loss. You can handle it. You have handled it. Just keep sharing the best memories of her. That's what keeps them all right here with us still. So yeah, and lessons for 2025. Let me start off by saying I hit my 2-year mark because of my surrender date, which allows me, and sustains my sobriety. 11/14 of 2023. So I hit 2 years this year, and they're really, in all truthfulness, the most, not really necessarily the cleanest I've been from drugs and alcohol. I had like a 6 or 7 year stretch of being clean and sober from any mind altering substances, but my spirit wasn't. My maturity wasn't. My accountability, my responsibility wasn't. All my defects were just kind of held at bay, for a certain while, depending on what argument I would start, what comment I would take too personal. All my shortcomings, flaws, defects of character, all my insecurity, none of that got sober. None of that got cleaned up. So these last 2 years, that's because I didn't invite Christ, my Lord and Savior, at the center of my life, not just my recovery, my life, which has put me on a path of discovery more than just recovery. I wasn't in it. I was not going into this journey looking to recover anything. I didn't want to recover nothing. Physicality, mental, spirit, soul, none of that stuff. It wasn't enough for me before. So I didn't want to recover nothing. And you can dissect and debate the definition of that and what that means to you in your life. No disrespect at all. I'm just simply stating where my mind has been since then. My heart posture had to change so that mindset could be where it is today, and ever evolving. This was about being willing to go on a journey of discovery, not self-discovery, but who I was created to be. Why does God have me here? Why did he intervene and save my life literally twice in 2 decades, once in 2000 and once in 2023, the night of November 11th, 2023, coincidentally, my oldest son's birthday, who has already seen his mother in the ground way too early from something similar that I was planning on doing and resigned to do after getting caught, thrown out of the house, losing the relationship, the woman that I was meant to be with. That was discovered over 13 years ago. Just celebrated our 13-year anniversary this year too. But that didn't happen. It was close. I was going to. This is 2 years ago, and I'll bring it up to speed. But God stepped in with an absolutely out of left field text from a friend that I'd worked with, hadn't seen for a while, had borrowed $10 from the next day, which is a whole other story. But it was a text I got pretty late. I hadn't really been on my phone, but I checked that. He didn't know nothing was going on. And so I told him a little bit, and he said, hey, just hang in there till 6. We'll hang out. Da, 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 da. So that kind of got me out of it. But it's still hard to believe that phone dinged and I checked it. If it happened 2 minutes later, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you. And going back to the year 2000, when Christ intervened again, I knew something was going on bigger than me and my own troubles, my own storms that I created. So, and then the next night, I still ended up drinking and at this other buddy's house. But the next day, I did hang out with the guy who texted me. I borrowed $10 from him because I wanted to get some crack. I don't mince words or sugarcoat nothing. That's what I was doing. It's my DOC. He gave it to me. I saw my son at the same time. He showed up, big ordeal. We talked, go to leave, get in the truck. Everything just kind of froze. I stopped, go to start the truck. And I'm like, I don't want none of this. Like all the urge, temptation, desire, all of it was gone. So since 11/12 of 23, all coke and crack and all that stuff has been gone. I have not had any desires, temptations, thoughts, slips, anything like that since. I've heard the word, I've heard the term, I've heard the jokes. None of that has made me want to go do it anyway, and I'm grateful. So anyway, go to rehab, get out, and start this whole journey with you guys. I know I'm leaving a lot of stuff out. 2024 was one heck of a year. It was beautiful. It was a year of purging everything. It was me being accountable with my own mess, with my everythingness, not just my addiction. Pouring a lot of it out, as I know a lot of it has to do with childhood. So I had to purge that first year. If it's possible to go back and see some of my old videos, now I guess I can say they're old videos from a couple of years ago, you'll hear me just pouring out stuff. I'm like crying in every video. It was a mess. Second year was more of a year of refining and sharpening, leaning away because I stalled out at step 5 on the steps. I was just going through them and answering them truthfully and honestly. Boom, 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 boom. So I had stopped. I don't even know when, maybe July or August of 24. Pick them back up October of this year. Finished step 5. Just finished step 6 yesterday with defects. I'm putting truthfulness out there. I'm searching myself. Some of the questions are pretty easy for me, to be honest with you. When it starts talking about God of your own understanding and higher power and all this stuff, and do you want God to remove these defects of character and your shortcomings? I'm like, yeah, he's been doing that. I mean, God bless the steps, but the steps have been my daily life since 11/14 of 2023. I'm doing 1, 4, 7, 11, 9, 2, back to 1, 6. I mean, 1's like the book cover, really. But I mean, there's the steps have been working me. They require me to be a certain way, and that's what 2024 was really about. So I started thinking about faith more, getting into the Bible more, wanted to do Bible studies, more testimonies from people that have had God moments, the moment of surrender, how it's changed and transformed them, how that set them on a path of not only repentance but making amends through their repentance. Repetitive heart, maybe pulling them back from a reprobate type of mind, because that's all you could possibly have when you're in addiction. It's tunnel vision. And that's all helped me so much in 2024. This year, 2025, a lot more of the same. We started doing the Zoom meetings last year around this time, around Christmas. We still have those on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, 6 p.m. Central. Chairperson every night with a topic. We give it right to the members. We talk about everything. It's a safe space to do it. They're awesome meetings. We plug them all the time. And I've grown from them. God has given me this year specifically the people that I need in my life to learn from and grow with. And some aren't here as much anymore. Some friendships have kind of just fallen off, or I've moved on from, or vice versa. And that's okay with me. I've gotten a lot better at that because I had abandonment issues. So then I started feeling like, well, now I'm entitled to these friendships, and I just give them truth and respect. So that's what I want to return, and I'm growing. So you got to come with me. Everybody's at their own pace and level. Which brings me to the major lesson I've learned in 2025. If anybody wants to come on and share something with me, you can. I'll have to see the invite, or maybe Deb will let me know, and then we'll bring you right on screen with me and tell the world what 2025 has meant to you. But the lesson I've learned the most in 2025, and it's just really happened recently because it's been a year-long lesson, right? Some storms last for a whole year. But with faith, we walk through it, so it doesn't seem as bad. We're not as fearful. We know we're not trying to hold on and hunker down on our own. I just said hunker down. We know God's with us. We know what he did to the waters. We know what he did to the storm, right? We know what Peter was able to do when he kept his eyes on Christ, right? God's not going to bring us to something without bringing us through something. So I've been hypercritical of some people this last year. I do not want to name names. Some that were pretty close, some that I've known for, a decent while, a year or so. But I wasn't, this is me being transparent. This is who I've always been. This is how I'll always be. This is part of my learning process. I didn't like how some were being in their recovery and how they considered themselves to be recovery influencers, helpers, whatever you want to call it. When they seem to me, through their actions and words sometimes, to be on the brink of relapse. And I know we're only one choice away, and I get that. 24 hours of time, I get all that. But this is where I started to really overanalyze certain people. And I'm like, how could you be totally secure in your sobriety one day and then the next day be on the brink of making a phone call? But that's not where I'm at. And I don't, it's hard for me to relate to that as well, because I just always chose to mess something up and go back out there. I never relapsed. I just chose to go back out there. I never slipped. I always left the door open for a predetermined situation to play it to my advantage, to go back out and do whatever I wanted for a few days or however long. There was no slip. It was all up there, right? If you're not willing to let it go, that's sabotage on its face. So, and I'm trying to, inspire and motivate and talk life over people. And, I would take offense where I had no right to and didn't need to. Somebody falls off, and there'd been a lot. In my opinion, a lot, we could, debate that, but way more than I thought. And some that I was kind of pretty shocked and surprised by. And I think they're all doing okay now, but for me, it was like, man, I thought everything was good. I thought you were solid. You're in the recovery influencing group genre game. Like, what's going on? And I know nobody's special. I know nobody's unique. I know nobody really has it more or less than somebody else. But that's what really started to make me think, is it's really seeing reflections when you're looking at somebody else, pointing out some flaws or this and that and the other. It's really like, well, how much of that is me? Am I upset, taking offense to this, standing too close to the fire per se, because maybe I'm not so good? So then I would jump to not even think about that and be like, well, this is your stuff. How come you're not further along than you should be? I thought you were. You talked it. So it would kind of mess me up some, not scare me or trigger me into going out. Like, none of that happened. But I was just like, that sucks. Because you think you're walking with certain people, and then realize, maybe not. Maybe they're just on their own time, their own pace. Maybe they're picking and choosing their spots. One day to be hot, one next day be cold. I don't know. But then I always go back to, well, above everything in life, it's God's timing in that individual. Sometimes that individual won't answer when God is knocking for that transformative moment. And that's on them. That's on us as humans. But it's just like, oh, I see what it is. And once I realized this, I was like, wow, okay. Well, I can't be both ways. I can't contradict myself if I'm trying to do some work, for the kingdom down here. I can't criticize, judge, or assume some other people's walks, because I don't know completely their situations. I don't know how they're feeling or what their thoughts are when their head hits the pillow at night. I don't know. I assume and pray everything's good, and that the next day we'll be on the same page and we're growing together. We're leaning in, pouring out, letting God take care of the rest, right? What we do. And I've come to the conclusion, I guess, these little mini revelations that I call them. I don't know why I said mini, but some people have sobriety. Some people are in recovery. Some people talk all the program, the steps, the everything. They have the slogans and the mottos and all that stuff. And God too is involved and yada yada. But they may not have experienced that God moment yet. Years of sobriety, doing great, life back together, families together, work, health. But they're really kind of relying on themselves more. And there's nothing I can do about that. I just never thought about it before. I always assumed everyone has had it. I'm like, oh, well, you're sober today because of God, right? Yeah. Amen. 100%. Okay. Now for me, and for many others I've talked with, they have really distinct examples that set them on a path a little bit more firmly, because when things line up and when the pieces fit, you can see the picture really clearly, and it couldn't be anything of your own doing or anybody else's. There's no vicariously recovering through anybody else's stories or programs or whatever. Really, God stepped in. The door was open. That's why I call my sobriety date my surrender date, because that's what it took. And I mean that literally. So I'm like, well, maybe not everybody that I'm close with or talk to on a regular basis have gone, down this road, has had that. And once I thought that or realized that, I said to myself, well, I can't expect whoever else to feel and be at where I feel I'm at today. If you're, because it's between God and that individual, not me. I could say things, I could be truthful, I could say a prayer, it's whatever, but it's not my life. It's not my choice. It's not my addiction. It's not my sobriety. It's none of that. But for me, it took the God moment. And I do think that there's a little bit of there's a big difference there, because I was clean and sober a bunch of times. I got a few year coins, but never had a God moment to where it was just like, oh, that's everything. It's been him all along. So I continue to pray that everybody will have that eventually and they don't fall off, because if you're getting by of your own strength and your own intentions with the sobriety thing, man, and maybe it comes easy for you. There are some that could go the rest of their lives and not have a God moment and die clean and sober. God bless them. That's not what I'm in it for. That's not the deal that I have with God. I vowed to walk with his son for the rest of my life to the best of my ability, without the expectation of perfection, whether Deb was in my life or not. And that's what I've done every day since. Period. And I've met a lot of other people, and they're here today. We talk every day, regularly. God has definitely increased this network and this circle, but some are just going to have to be for seasons, and some are going to be lessons to learn and grow from. And I have to be able to treat that with caution, care, and compassion, respect it for what it is, because I'm not entitled to any relationship, and let that go. And love and support and pray from a distance. Not sit there and try to be like, well, you should be feeling better today because I think you should be feeling better today. Your sobriety should be on lock because I say your sobriety should be on lock. Mine is. I mean, it's tough to even hear myself say that out loud, but that's how I feel I've come across several times to several people, close relations, this last year. And that's not being anything that I want to be. It's not any part of the deal I made with God. It's not serving his kingdom. It's not giving him praise or the glory. It's not being any kind of a good example. It's not exemplifying Christ, and it's not influencing, motivating, or inspiring anybody. I mean, there's a big difference between, hey, what you got going on? What are you doing? What are you thinking that for? Asking people stuff. And if they don't want to give you so much, then don't assume and put your own story into their lives and be like, that's what's going on. This is what you're doing. You're thinking this. You're going to be doing that. Just because they don't answer you, we want to like finish the story and then rewrite it and have them thank us later. That's kind of where my head got a few times. And I'm like, man, that's such a waste of time. What am I doing that with anybody for? I'm not them. They're going to do what they want to do. I take everything at face value. If it doesn't match up with my morals or where I'm at today, or if it kind of disaligns with my spirit, a little bit of, spiritually offensive, then, I kind of just keep moving on and just be cordial and courteous and respectful and supportive, but not over invest in people's lives and sobriety and faith. I have no right to do that. I can't do that because I don't know their hearts. Only Christ does. Lesson learned. So I won't chalk it up to like burnt bridges, but kind of. But at the same time, I see it for what it is because God knows that I couldn't see it in the moment. And I wouldn't look at it that way. I wouldn't take it for what it is or was. So his timing, and I'm willing to see it. And moving into 2026, I am absolutely willing and will, to the best of my ability, be who I've been from the beginning, be supportive, be concerning, caring. I want to know about your life. What's going on? What happened? What's been going on? Where you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you need? What can I do? Let's get to know each other. That's what I'm into. That's what I love. That makes me feel like I can distribute my sincerity a little bit better, more accurately. And that's what I'm willing to give. That's all I have to give. Some don't want to do that as much, and that's fine. Some can't or just choose not to. And that's cool. I still will give you the same thing, but just maybe in lesser amounts. Because I know me a little bit more. The more I give, I do expect for you to give a little bit more back, right? That's a flaw or a defect. So being aware of that, moving into 2026, I'm going to be who I've always been, but just expect God to do what only God can do through people in their timing. Just planting seeds, man. It's not my field. I got to tend to my own field, my own row, my own crop, my own fruit. If that example through my actions and words, if my in person matches my private pretty well, pretty consistently, then that'll take care of itself. And either people will be like, cool, yeah, that's a good way to do it, or they won't, or they'll just kind of take from that and try to do something on their own and not, pay you no credit or mind. And that's fine too. I don't worry about none of that. So apologies, but at the same time, I'm grateful to learn that lesson. And moving into 2026, I'll have a lot less space to rent, and a lot less investments. No expectations on other people's sobrieties or faith. Anybody want to come on and talk? I got one person on here. That's all right. I'm gonna still do this video. Maybe some will jump on. But if anybody wants to come on, please come on and talk. This next one is just about speaking life over your life. No more will there be any talk, negative talk, self-deprecation that I mean. I don't want to call myself all these things that everyone else has called me that I actually lived up to or down to, worldly labels, this, that, and the other. I'm a new creation. I'm being molded. I'm in the hands of the potter. Let's just go with that. By his stripes we are healed. You know, who the Son sets free, we're free indeed. You know all this stuff, right? So me still attaching my thinking, my persona, my character, my choices and actions and words and behaviors to old negative dead labels, not doing it anymore. I'm only here to speak life over my life because of Christ and to others. That's it. You own your stuff. I will continue to do that. I wish I would have made more coffee. But as far as sitting around days just being bummed out, being a negative Nelly, throwing eggshells out there for everybody else, breaking them down because I'm having a bad day or something or whatever, I'm over that. Stop speaking death over yourself in 2026. If you've got nothing good to say about yourself, then say good stuff about Christ. Start there. You know, the attitude of gratitude and all that stuff. But listen, don't wait until somebody's gone to say something nice about them at their funeral. You hear what I'm saying? Tell them now. They deserve to hear it now. If you got a bridge to repair, you know, you got a resentment to erase, people will talk to you. Meet them. If they don't, they don't. And that's where you got to just forgive so you can detach yourself from that. But all this stuff about harboring, you know, animosity and all this other junk, man, we don't need any of it. It's only a tool for the devil, and we shouldn't be so blind as to not see that. So speak life over your life moving forward. In the roller coaster personalities, it kind of goes back to the beginning because I was saying there's some people I've met that are just heel draggers. And, you know, I don't mean that terribly insulting or disrespectful, but they got like roller coaster personalities. Those are the ones that I can't really connect with. I can't do too much for. It takes a little bit of, you know, energy stealing, you know, and I don't want to be around that either. If you're around that too much, what you tolerate, you generate, right? You know, what you take garbage in is garbage out type of stuff. And yeah, I caught myself doing that a lot. I mean, I haven't talked to this many people in my entire life than I have in 2 years. It's incredible, but not everybody is meant for your energy, for your time. You know, so like I said, it's just easy to be like, I'm going to put the fine print up first. Here's who I am. Here's how I am. Here's how I'm always going to be. I'm a work in progress, but you're always going to see me 100% of the time. And, you know, if that doesn't match what somebody's doing or who they are or whatever, then that's a pretty easy, hey, you know, good luck to you. See you around and, you know, do your thing. Hopefully, you know, your story will help, you know, give somebody hope or something eventually. But I got to head on. Not everybody is for us, but we be nice, we be respectful, and we move on. But roller coaster personalities, that's another thing that's out for 2026. I can't do that, man, because I start taking on and expressing negative characteristics of some other people when I know better. I don't need to be doing that, and I don't recommend it for anybody either. It's not that we're giving up on people, but I'm not in the business of being. I'm not gonna be dragged down by anybody either. You know, there's stuff to do. God's timing. He'll fix it or he won't. And just leaving others be. Let me cross that off. All right. So I said all that to say this. God-based recovery is real close to. It's not going to happen in 2025. but we're like less than 100 people away from 25,000 members. And if you're a member and you've had anything to do with that group, any influence, if you've seen any on the spot, if you've been to a Zoom meeting, if you caught a live, maybe even saw the puppet show a few years ago. Never mind. Deb's probably laughing on that one. Hashtag puppet show is ridiculous, but from the heart. So I still appreciate it. 25,000 awesome brothers and sisters in less than 2 years, as this group was founded in, I want to say February or March of 24. Not exactly sure, but so time frame wise, 25,000 members in 2 years, and still growing strong. And I think God has his hands all over this group. He is the admin. We've not had really any trouble, any problems, nothing crazy with posts. I just want God to keep utilizing this group to reach the people he wants to reach. I benefit enough from it. If he wakes me up tomorrow, my day's good. My prayers are answered. The rest is on me. Inner works more so than outer works. So just thank you for being a part of this group. And I totally respect each and every one of you. There's nobody I wouldn't take the time to talk with and talk to, but I got to let God lead me to do that. I don't really try to seek out conversations, even with the on the spots. It's really like just scrolling through names sometimes and be like, oh, that's kind of highlighted a little bit. That sticks out. And I believe God arranges a lot of the on the spots. There's definitely been some that I've chosen and have gone back and been like, wasn't my best one. I wasn't really present. But it's still, God could take that and still have some, extraordinary impact on somebody that I don't even know exists. I'm just a worker, man. Employee, and I'm an employee of the kingdom. That's all I care about these days. I don't try to do nothing too extravagant. I don't need lights, bells and whistles, anything flying around my head, sunglasses, that whole TikTok scene. I don't know if it's for me, everybody. Just letting you know. You might not see me over there very often. Or, if somebody wants to run the TikTok account for me, I might let them do that. But I don't feel connected over there doing anything. Just a little side note. But yeah, 25,000 members, God-based recovery. Whatever God wants me to do, I'm going to do. And if anybody wants to come on, please come on and talk and say a few words. Share with us how your 2025 went. That's all we're really doing. Probably be on here for another 15 minutes or so. I've shared all I like to share with you. Usually I'll see like a little blue dot on the invite. But if anybody's wanting to come on, I'm sure I can find a way to do that. Get you the link. The link for the guest invite is on the Facebook post. So let me say this now. So I'm giving my testimony with Jason Richmond of I Am Living Proof podcast. He got a YouTube channel just recently, by the way. Funny story about that. Pretty cool. He was recording his. He's done 3, recorded them, then posted them. I'm like, hey, really cool if you do them live. And then not 2 hours later, he's like, hey, so we're going to do them live and yours is going to be the first one. I'm like, sweet. He had his YouTube page, which I've shared out and support him. Very cool stuff. So I'm giving my testimony with him Sunday, January 4th, coming up. And at 6 p.m. Central, it'll be everywhere. Thanks to everybody who shared that out. Now, I've given my testimony with Travis Oswald of this, man, I can't even remember it now, mental health and soon, I can't say that word, unalive yourself awareness. I don't know what happened to him. I think he was having trouble with his page. But anyway, that's the first person I was really talking to in the lives. And we had some great conversations. He shared his story with us. I think I still got it on my YouTube early on, April of like 2024. But anyway, shared pretty much mine with him. Lost contact with him. Haven't really talked to him since. And then last year sometime, shared mine with Chris Willers, but 20, 25 minutes. I mean, it was good, but too short of a time. And I haven't really seen that. And then with Mike Miller, with Faith, Hope, and Recovery Group, but no recording to it. It's just gone. I never got to see it. I never got it recorded or nothing. So I was like, okay, well, it's kind of a big deal to have the testimonies out there so people could see them. But I remember doing it. I felt really good about it. And but there really is no recording of my testimony, and maybe it's been refined over time. And I really feel ready to give it and share it with Jason Richmond Sunday the 4th at 6 p.m. It'll be on his YouTube channel. It'll be on GBR, my page, my YouTube channel, and definitely will be recorded and in the archives. And hope a few certain people get to see it that may not know any of this has really happened over these last 2 years, or maybe have heard about some stuff but really question it. I hope they get to see it, because I have nothing to offer but truth in these testimonies. So keep an eye out for that. Look for that. If you see the post, please share it. Jason Richmond of I Am Living Proof podcast, he's going to come right back and share his for the first time. He'll be sharing his with me with GBR on the 14th. I can't tell you if that might be a Thursday or something. The 14th, 6 p.m. Central, Jason Richmond from the I Am Living Proof podcast, where I'll be doing my testimony Sunday. He'll come right back on and share his with us on the 14th. That's about all I got. Oh, one more thing. Chad Valier. I did his on the spot. He did his on the spot a few weeks ago. It's in the guide section at the top of the GBR page. He's got an amazing book out called Up From the Dark. I'm almost done with it. Been reading it out loud with Dad the whole way, writing out my questions along the way. He's going to come on January 25th at 6 p.m. Central and do a Q&A on that book. If anybody knows me by now, knows that my favorite thing to do is Q&As with people who have written books. Silence the Lion by Noelle Borgia, about her husband Sam's addiction and their marriage and her faith and all that. It's called Silence the Lion. That was amazing. That was an excellent story. They both came on as a married couple and talked and shared their story about that, did some Q&A, and it was excellent. So I absolutely look forward to doing this with Chad. The dude looks quite a bit like me. It's kind of weird, but I'm like the American version, or he's like the Canadian version of me or something. I don't know. Hey, what's that about? So Chad Valier, I should have brought the book here, but I'll have it posted up. Keep an eye out for it. January 25th, 6 p.m. Central. What you tolerate, you generate. Silly. I think that's about all I got. Everybody's probably having a good time partying, maybe not on their phones, huh, Deb? And I'm going to get off of here, but I just wanted to come on right quick because I know this will be posted. And let's say this one last time. I'm absolutely blessed and honored. And these 2 years, there's been no revenue. There hasn't been anything that I've tried to like make money off of. Facebook does this thing where I make like maybe less than $1 a day. So, but I don't like money. I can't stand it. If I had it, I would just try to make people's lives better with it. I know that that's still like a thing, like kind of, because I can still be kind of selfless or selfish and buy impulse stuff, and I digress. But I can't stand money. I don't want it. I ruined what I had when I had it. So what God allows me to have, as long as we're good and supportive here, that matters to me quite a bit. I just believe God to provide along the way. When he sees me being decently responsible with a little, he'll multiply that in his timing. How much he wants me to have, how much he affords me to have, it's all up to him, and I'm completely cool with that. And so, yeah, this will never be something that I try to turn into some kind of financial gain. Like, I'm not going to use my recovery, my sobriety, or my faith to specifically try to get some money out of it somehow. The things that God leads me too, or me and my wife too. Like, we have some dreams and hopes. We'd love to open a coffee shop, and we want some sober houses and stuff like that. Okay, that's there. God knows the desires of our hearts. But our job is to minister to each other and to set the example right here, so it could go out there. Spreading the good news has to start inside your own homes. If you're rushing out the door just to go, preach the news somewhere, that, that could still be used by God, of course. But I think you're missing, home base there. Lesson for me. I mean, I don't do that perfectly. I didn't mean to make that sound like that's what I do. I'm just saying that that's something I need to take note of myself, do a little bit more of in 2026. Pray more consistently, stuff like that. But as far as ever like trying to like do something intentionally to try to get some money or subscribers or stars or this and that and the other, you won't ever hear me talk about none of that stuff, man. It just feels grimy. I don't like it. I try to take myself out twice in my life. So how then could I be like, whoa, thanks, but now I'm going to try to use all this to get some money that I can't even handle? Like, it's not for me. And I don't mind being that way, because I see some people doing that. And once again, it's not my life, not my thing, not my circus, not my monkeys. I refuse to allow that to bother me in any certain way. I might have an opinion about it, whatever, but I don't know all the ins and outs or the intentions. So I got to leave that stuff alone and move on. I just know what I'm trying to do, and more importantly, what God wants me to do on a daily basis. Some days I miss it, but I'm going to keep leaning in. So that's about all I got. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's going to be maybe seeing this later or tomorrow or whenever. Thank you for enriching my life. Thank you for caring. Thank you for sharing your relatable stories that resonate with my heart. Thank you for growing with me. Thank you for giving me things to learn from. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for trying to get out of your own way so you can discover who God made you to be. That's what it's all about. And I will never take it for granted. It's enormously gratifying. Something I would have never imagined would happen. Somebody would want to sit and listen to some stuff that I might have to say. So it's all for the kingdom. It's all for God's glory. And I'm going to keep walking with His Son until my last breath. Never going to be perfect. Won't be obedient 100% of the time, but I'm going to be willing to learn these lessons along the way. And just try to give Him the best of me that He could possibly use, knowing that none of my works is going to out-sufficient His grace. So I love myself these days, and that's because I know Christ loves me, and He loves all of you. So 2025, it's been a blast, man. Been a while. And we all made it. And I look forward to seeing all y'all in 2026. Just being the awesome, beautiful, amazing, miraculous people that you are. Keep sharing your stories. Somebody needs to hear it. And if you got an idea that you should start a convictions brewing to share your story, hit me up. All ears. And that's it. I'm going to have a good night. Getting a little bit hungry. I already missed Deb. And keep typing up. Be like, we want to hear Deborah Robbins on the spot. We want to hear her story. And I'll probably be sleeping on the porch tonight. Just kidding. Everybody, until next year, stay blessed. God base.